Today we'll be discussing a very special topic. You know, last week we brought to you a topic that borders on promise to marry, and we're able to look at how you can, seek damages from court when your heart has been broken after a promise to marry by a man or a woman. So this evening I have my students with me. They'll be introducing themselves. But the topic we are going to be discussing today is recognition of foreign marriages. You know, a lot of people jackpot. They just like, okay, I don't want to contract my wedding or my marriage in Nigeria. I want to contract it in the United Kingdom or United States of America. So we're going to be looking at how valid is this or are these marriages in Nigeria. So can we meet you, please?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Abowotobia, and it's a pleasure being here this evening with you all.
Good evening, everyone. It's your baby girl, Emrokali Ofre, and I'm here to also give an insight of different foreign marriages. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so my name is Donna Esther, and I'm part of the host for this show. Please stay tuned and get ready to be entertained.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oglana Valeria, and I'm just, here to learn, basically.
Good evening, everybody. It's Hype Daddy Mojeri, and since I'm the only boy here today,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'm the only boy here today, so my opinion is going to be very, very valid.
Yes, we can't wait for that, really. The ladies here are 300 level law students, and the guy is
500 level engineering student.
yeah. So now we are going to be discussing the recognition of foreign marriages. So now to you, I'm going to be leaving the floor to you guys. I want to see how you can, justify this position, the legal position, and of course the moral stand. What does it even make sense? Recognition. Why would you even go to UK or travel out to contract your marriage in the first place? And what are the legal ingredients to satisfy before these marriages can become legal or valid in Nigeria? So who is opening the floor? Esther, let's have you.
Okay, that's fine. Like, firstly, let's even answer the question, first of all. Is there even money in this country for people to,
What do you mean?
No, that's the thing, because, no, ma, we need to discuss. So, do people really even go outside to do marriages? Like, how much of Nigerians, what's the percentage? Because Sapa is, predominant everywhere. There is no money.
Do you mean Sapa or Japa?
Yes, man. No, Sapa. There is no money, man, for us to, even start talking. First of all.
You know that with the way the Nigerian economy is, that there are a lot of people who benefit from it. So those
Yes,
are the
true,
ones
though.
that go outside to get married.
Exactly. And people with the rate of Japa now, I'm not talking
Yeah.
about Sapa. With the rate of Japa now, people actually do contract their marriages in foreign countries.
We can start that.
But I feel like another thing is that even though, there's some people that travel outside the country now, and maybe their visa is about to expire. I'm definitely not coming back to Nigeria to come and get married here.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I think people get married for the green card, for the recognition, to be able to stay, and their marriage will still be valid when it comes to Nigeria at the end of the day. So it's just for their benefits. Everybody wants to enjoy. Everybody wants to go outside. And to brag. I did my wedding in I don't know.
So now you're saying that if I want a green card, I can just look for one Oyibo guy and just. I'm married though.
People do it. But then back to the topic, that's the validation of foreign marriages. If you get married outside, is it valid in Nigeria? So the question we should be asking ourselves is, what makes a marriage valid? All right. So when you come to Nigeria here, the way we get married in Nigeria here, we do the tradition first. Yeah, we do the tradition first, traditional wedding. The question I still ask myself is, after you do that traditional wedding, are you guys already a couple? Or you need to still wait for that white wedding?
Wait, that's even another topic entirely.
I'm actually
It's still a valid marriage.
That's even another topic entirely. I was watching a particular podcast and they were asking the lady. The guy was saying, okay, we cannot have sex after the lady was saying we cannot have sex after our traditional marriage, and the guy was like, I'm already married to you under the custom and tradition. Why can't we have sex? And the lady is like, until we have our white wedding, it's a sin. And the person was like, how is it a sin? Are you saying that your own traditional marriage does not count, does not have value?
White weddings are literally a traditional marriage.
And the
like
truth is
outside
that
Nigeria.
most
White
people
weddings are
don't
actually-
even know. Like, they don't know.
Back to your question about the foreign marriage. Do you know foreign marriage? To my own understanding, I feel foreign marriage is what we call white wedding here, because the normal valid wedding is the tradition. I go to your PP, my PP, everybody will sit it down and be like, okay, I pay for dowry. So after that marriage, I feel we're already a couple. So that white wedding, that's the foreign marriage. Just that when we're going to the altar, right? Yeah, that's the foreign marriage.
Okay, do you have the same position? Is that the same
Yeah,
position?
personally, yes, I actually have the same position. I feel like, the white wedding is literally a traditional marriage in another country, in other countries. And then the fact that we now have to do both like the traditional and then the white wedding, I just feel like it's foreign to us. It's not meant to be, I feel like it's just meant to be like the entire court, this thing, and then traditional marriage, just to make it legal and then to validate it like in your tradition. But like the white parts,
Okay,
now
now
for the wedding gown,
Okay. Now, okay, for the benefit of those who are also aspiring to travel out to contract their wedding in UK, in US, and they are planning to come back later in the future to come and register the marriage. What is your stance on this?
I feel like people who go outside Nigeria, Nigerians who go outside Nigeria to get married, when they come back, there are certain, requirements that must be fulfilled before that marriage will be considered valid. In as much as they are married in, let's say, England, they must also come back to Nigeria to, register that marriage. And that marriage will be registered as long as, they do not contradict our laws here in Nigeria.
Just in case you are planning on getting married outside, pay attention.
So what are the rules? What are the rules to be followed?
Yeah, so if you're planning on coming back to Nigeria to register your marriage, you must follow certain requirements. Number one, there must be consent. You cannot go and marry somebody and force that person to marry you, and not come back to Nigeria and say you want to register that marriage. The person must also be of age. In Nigeria, the age of marriage is 18 or 21. So you cannot come and register a marriage with a minor. It's not possible. Also, in Nigeria, we don't do gay. We don't do gay. So
We are straight. We are straight. So we are all straight in Nigeria.
No. But like
What you trying to say? Because I think Nigeria has a law that says homosexuality 14 years in prison. So we don't support it.
Coming to first.
so you can't
What are the requirements? Okay.
you must also of age, consent, homosexuality, prohibited degrees of
according to our laws.
yes, prohibited degrees of consanguinity and
and
affinity.
affinity.
Yes, that's one requirement. Consanguinity and affinity is just trying to say that you cannot marry someone that is related to you. Those
Either
people
by
that
blood
come and
Whether
say
by blood or by
by
relation.
blood, marriage, any of those things. You can't marry your brother, you can't marry your cousin, you can't marry your father's sister. None of that is
wives.
You
allowed.
can't marry your husband. Your sister cannot marry from your husband's family.
Yeah, that's affinity. Consanguinity is blood, ancestral connection. Why affinity is just by relations and so on and so forth. So, however, those type of marriages are actually legal in some parts of the world.
Like Pakistan,
Yeah.
India, Iran, and
Yes,
some
they
other
actually,
countries
but in
as well.
Nigeria, it's not allowed. Yeah.
I'm getting married to my sister. Wow, what?
They don't do it to like keep the. I feel like they do it to keep like the blood in the family. Like they don't want it to go outside the family. Like,
One
they
of the
just want-
reasons I've heard that one of the reasons why such is not allowed in Nigeria or like generally all over the world is because there is a tendency that when you get married to your relation, there's a type of general diseases or there can be genetical mutations that can like
that.
proceed from having that type of relationship with your family. So it's generally not acceptable because we don't want to.
But she just mentioned that it's a practice in Pakistan, in India, and I think they have a very large percentage of this practice there. So,
Pakistan has 65%
Wow.
of it. Saudi Arabia is 50.
So literally half of the country.
India
married
even
to their
65% as well. Yeah.
So I've been okay.
They're like brothers and sisters.
Basically, yeah.
They want to take us back to the Abraham days.
Exactly.
Back in the day.
So Esther and Tovia, can you tell us the sections of the law that backs this requirement?
Okay, so as Tovia has said earlier, there are certain conditions that must be like in the marriage, that must be seen in that marriage before it can be taken or accepted in Nigeria as valid. One of them is section 49 of the Marriage Act. Section 49 provides that where a marriage is done in a marriage officer's office in any country, it will be deemed as valid as if it was done in a registrar's office in Nigeria. So basically, like for your marriage to be done, it has to be like for your marriage to be valid in Nigeria, it has to be in accordance with the laws of the country you're going to do the marriage, and it has to be done in a marriage officer's office. And if it's done there now, it's going to be seen or like taken as if yes, this marriage was done in Nigeria in any registered office. So Tovia, please, can you share more likes on the second section?
Okay, we have section 1(3) of the Matrimonial Causes Act. This is another statute that actually provides for the regulation of marriages and divorce in Nigeria. So this section states that the requirement for a voidable and void marriage states that a marriage shall be declared void or invalid if it doesn't comply with some requirements that it must comply with in Nigeria. So basically, foreign marriage is actually valid. Let's just call the short story. The long story short.
As long as the requirements are met.
Your marriage will be valid. And some of the requirements are, there must be consent of age, and so on and so forth.
Affinity.
Yes.
But do you know this matter? Let's go back to this affinity and consanguinity. There was a particular time I saw on Facebook two couples, two sets of twins, one twins from one family and another twin from another family. So the Taiwo from this family married the Taiwo from this family, the Kehinde from this family married the Kehinde from this family. So what is your stance on this? Are you saying that this kind of marriages are not valid?
They might just have wanted to be cute.
To my own understanding, yeah, because if they're marrying at the same time, I think there's no problem with that. But if one is marrying first, then before the other, then I think, because I've actually heard cases like that whereby me and my twin brother getting married to a girl and a twin sister, all right? So I've heard cases like that, and it's fine. I don't think there's a problem with that.
Okay, what do you think?
There's actually a problem.
I feel like it's weird. You don't say that family.
There's a problem.
I feel like that's actually a trend. Twins like to marry
Yeah, I feel
twins.
like a
and
trend.
But not
together,
yours.
they
want to be
together.
cute,
Yes,
like,
but not the twin of
But it's
your...
not backed up by our laws. Like our
It's
laws
not-
do not really provide or like give
Yeah.
permission
For
for
that
such
such
things.
marriage.
So
That's
they're not getting the
affinity.
benefits
They do not.
of like
But
normal marriage in Nigeria.
however,
There is this stipulation that if the couples who contend on getting married to their marriage bonds and all, like in-laws and all, if they apply to the court under section
Yes.
4
Okay,
of the
yeah,
Marriage
yeah.
Act, the judge, like a high court judge, can actually grant that marriage, but they have to appeal. They have to
Yeah.
apply to the court, and the court has to
the
grant
discretion to
yes,
grant
it's
that
under the
marriage to be
discretion of the
valid.
court now to like grant the marriage to be valid. Then it can be done.
Yeah.
So like with the backing up of law.
Of the law, yeah.
can.
The validity of that marriage will now solely lie on the judge to see whether
Yeah.
he can permit such marriage. I read
Or
a
not.
particular case that talked about something similar to that, where the father-in-law and the daughter-in-law wanted to get married, like
Yeah.
cheated, yes, after his
And
son died.
divorced.
And so they went to the judge to like seek the permission to get married, and the court denied them marriage. They used the excuse of the daughter's son that, oh, we are bringing this son, want to marry to take care of the son. They just said no, we cannot permit that marriage.
So it's at the discretion of the court.
Yes.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah.
So I believe our listeners at home are really learning a lot.
Yeah.
So I was going to mention something concerning bigamy. You guys have not discussed anything concerning bigamy. What's the stance?
If you know you're
of the-
married, don't try to marry another woman.
Ah.
Don't try it. They sue you.
It's actually a very, very common, act. People do it, but they actually don't know.
They do not
Because
know
there are
it's
actually like stipulations that, oh, if you do this thing, I think you're liable for 7 years imprisonment. Because
Yeah.
people do
People
it,
are
not like
liable.
under the customary section, but if you're validly married under monogamous law, that's under the
Act.
yes, the act, and you still go and remarry another person under the act again, you're doing yourself because
Like,
you're
I
literally
feel like
you know.
I feel
This
like
is even common among even actors
It's very
and
I feel like
common,
a lot of
and it's
people don't
very
even know that they
wrong.
can sue, like,
Yeah.
for bigamy. And then I feel like the society, if you say, oh, you want to see your husband for having another wife, to be like, what
not
a
that
boy is
deep.
in another wife? What has not happened before? Something
Yeah,
like that.
So people are really shy and
Exactly.
people just,
Wait, I have a
sleep
question.
on that.
I'm not married. I don't know. So I have a question. My question is it that our law is against it, or if you marry or if you have court marriage, that's when your wife can sue you if you get married to someone else, or the law is against it?
The law is against it. The law is against
Really?
it.
Yes, because
When you marry under the act, you are not
that
permitted to marry under another person.
Well, people do it a lot.
Even
People do it does not justify it. The fact is, people go into. We have gays. We have, but they have not been able to come out and say we are doing this. They are just doing underages, and that's why some of them have to travel out to other countries where the practice is acceptable and valid and legal. That is why they have to. But really, can we discuss about that? Do we need to? Do you think that we need to review our laws, or are you saying that our laws is just cool and we don't need this kind of people in our society?
We don't need this kind of people in our society.
we
We don't.
It's going to cause havoc.
Coming from a straight guy.
You know why?
Why, please?
To me, it's very demonic, alright? Because I don't see why a male will want to get married to a male, or a female want to get married to a female.
It's so unnatural.
It's so unnatural.
Laws of nature.
It's against the law of nature. It's so
not normal.
demonic. It's not normal.
And I feel like even if it was normal, Nigeria used to abuse a lot of things. If they try to review the laws in Nigeria, to shock them, like,
But it's transgender.
We would even overdo more than
exactly that's what I'm
legal?
saying. The fact
Is it
that
legal?
I feel like I'm not sure, but I saw one thing where there is.
It's not, but people still go on social media. We still celebrate these people.
Exactly.
So what?
Like,
You-
I
no,
saw
no,
one
no,
stuff
mo-
where Nigeria actually doesn't expressly state, talk against cross dressers, but it's like talks against transgenderism. So people that are shame now, we all know shame now. So I remember there was one time that they made a comment that somebody was not wise, that it was not meant to be, that the person cannot say they are transgender in Nigeria. You can only say you're a cross dresser. So like, they know what they are doing.
That is their defense.
So you know what you're doing. Like, that is their defense. That
Yes,
I'm a cross dresser.
I'm a cross-dresser, I'm not a transgender.
Something like that. I'm like,
So, but does that still make it acceptable?
no.
You know the problem of this country, yeah? Our law says this thing is not accepted, alright? But then the law does not persecute the people that are doing this thing that's not accepted. Because now go online, Bobrisky is working freely,
That is what I'm saying. That is exactly my point.
and the law is against it.
The law is
Nobody-
against it,
no-
yet people celebrate the people who
celebrate. Nobody-
exactly. So what do we do? Are we saying that?
We are doing ourselves in this country.
Can you guys
Yeah,
remember the
doing
case of where they caught like about 50
Yes. I remember
Male
that case.
some-
They went for a wedding or
wedding
something.
in
There was
Delta
a gay
State,
wedding.
and they arrested all of them. That's it. We don't know.
We don't know
what happened
I
to
just
them
know they
after.
arrested them, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure what.
So I feel like the
happened.
government has to like set like an example. They should be like, we should see what happens to these people. I think it should not
I
serve as
feel like the reason why
deterrence.
I think you have
yes,
something
I feel
against
like
Bobrisky.
honestly, but I feel like the
Yes.
reason why like the government does.
So basically, to round it up, we are going to we are really pleased to have been able to educate you on this particular topic, and I know you are very happy now that you are free to contract your marriages. But I want to also to avert your mind to the fact that one person has to be a Nigerian if you are contracting for your marriage to be valid in Nigeria. Well, I don't care where you went to contract the marriage, but one of you must be a Nigerian and you must have met certain requirements. So you are free to jackpot and go and contract your marriage. I hope we have been able to educate you on this particular aspect of law. I know you will have feedbacks, and we don't have the opportunity to for you to call in, but for your feedbacks you can send your feedbacks to me on my social media handle at Oyetola Adeniyi Ministries on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and even on YouTube. Till next time, I remain myself Oyetola Adeni, and these are my students. And I'm very pleased to have you around, and it was really insightful moments with you. And thanks to the only guy.
The only guy.
The only guy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody. And it was an eventful evening. Thank you so much. And I hope when I call on you next time, you'll be willing to avail me. Thank you so much. God bless you. Bye.
Bye.